Jim Davidson blames Sadiq Khan for London's decline sparks massive backlash. Now he's said it out loud and the internet's exploded. That's how one commentator summed up the latest bombshell moment from comedian and outspoken critic Jim Davidson. You may know Davidson from his comedy or his controversial political takes, but this time, he's not joking. He's taken direct aim at London's mayor, Sadiq Khan. And let's just say, it didn't go unnoticed. It all started during a fiery podcast episode recorded earlier this week. Davidson, mid-conversation about crime, culture, and policing in the UK, paused, then dropped the line that's now making headlines. Sadiq Khan has turned London into a shell of its former self. The place's lost its soul. The reaction? Immediate. Some clapped. Others cringed. But nearly everyone had something to say. Within hours, clips from the show were trending not just on Twitter, but on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and WhatsApp groups all over the country. Because love him or hate him, Jim Davidson touched a nerve. So, what exactly did he mean? According to Davidson, the issue isn't just about rising crime, though he made plenty of references to that. It's about a broader feeling, a sense that the capital has, in his words, lost its character. He pointed to a string of headlines. Knife crime still devastating families across London's boroughs. Public transport becoming less safe, especially after dark. Police resources stretched thin. And perhaps most controversial of all, his claim that cultural priorities have been put ahead of basic governance. It's all slogans and symbolism, he said. Meanwhile, the average Londoner feels more isolated, more scared, and more ignored than ever. Sadiq Khan's office? Not impressed. In a statement released the next morning, a spokesperson for the mayor pushed back hard. Jim Davidson is entitled to his opinion, but not to rewrite reality. London is one of the most vibrant, safest global cities in the world. Under Mayor Khan, we've seen record investment in community policing, green infrastructure, and inclusion. But the numbers and the public tell a more complicated story. A recent YouGov poll showed that over 58% of Londoners believe the city is getting worse overall, with concerns about crime, housing affordability, and social division topping the list. One longtime resident from Hackney commented online, "It's not about politics anymore. It's about the vibe. You walk through certain areas at night and it's like, no one's in charge." And that's exactly the line Davidson is tapping into. He's not alone either. Comedians, commentators, and even former police officials are joining the chorus. Former Met officer Chris Hobbs tweeted, "There's a growing feeling that central policing decisions are more about politics than public protection. That's a dangerous slope." Meanwhile, Conservative MP Lee Anderson weighed in on GB News, saying, "You don't have to agree with Jim Davidson's style to admit he's voicing what a lot of working-class Brits are thinking." But here's the twist. Some Labour insiders are starting to feel the heat too. One anonymous Labour councillor told the Evening Standard, "The mayor's support in inner London remains strong. But in outer boroughs, places like Bexley, Croydon, Barking, there's frustration brewing. And we can't afford to ignore it." That frustration isn't just about crime or council tax. It's about identity. Many Londoners, especially older residents, feel like they've watched their city transform into something they barely recognize. And while politicians talk progress and inclusion, a growing segment of the public is whispering something else. What about us? Now, let's be clear, Jim Davidson is not a policymaker. He's not running for office. He's not sitting on a city council. But in this era of viral media and populist sentiment, sometimes a well-timed rant from a celebrity does more than any policy paper ever could. It hits, it spreads, and it forces those in power to respond. So where does this leave Mayor Sadiq Khan? Well, with local elections looming and public dissatisfaction simmering, he's walking a tightrope. Does he double down on his current messaging, clean energy, diversity, investment? Or does he address the rising emotional concerns, fear, nostalgia, alienation that voices like Davidson are now amplifying? In the end, this isn't just about two men arguing on different sides of the cultural divide. It's about the soul of a city and who gets to define it. Because whether you think Jim Davidson is speaking truth or stirring the pot, you can't deny this. Something's shifted. The criticism is louder. The public mood is sharper. And the pressure is building. So we'll leave you with this. If London really is in decline, who's responsible? And more importantly, who's brave enough to fix it? Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit subscribe for more breakdowns on UK politics, media flashpoints, and the battle for public trust. This story is far from over.